This is the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander. This is the Platinum Hybrid Max. It's a bit of a beast. It is the largest crossover SUV that Toyota makes outside of the Sequoia, which is body on frame SUV. We're talking 362 horsepower, 3 rows of seating, and all the family practicality you could want. Last year I drove the 2024, the launch of the Grand Highlander, and that one was the Limited. And this one being the Platinum, it almost feels like a completely different vehicle. We're about to dive into all of it. I'm Adam, this is TXGarage. Let's get into it. All right, and for 2025, we have a wider range of trims available for the Grand Highlander. You have the LE, the XLE, the Limited, the Platinum, and we have an all-new hybrid Nightshade Edition. What I'm driving here is the Platinum, the Hybrid Max engine, all-wheel drive, basically the top of the line you can get. That's what we're going to dive into in this video. Let's start off with the exterior design. From the outside, the Grand Highlander is sized just right. It's larger than a Highlander, but smaller than the Sequoia, making it a sweet spot for families who need more space, but can't pony up what a Sequoia costs these days. I think Toyota nailed the proportions here. Up front, you've got that hammerhead style nose and wide stance. That gives it presence without going full tank. Around back, the Hybrid Max gets dual exhaust tips and unique bumper accents. This one looks really sharp with this dark gray paint color. You don't get a spare tire here, not underneath, not in the trunk. But overall, the design and style of this thing looks really good. I like the wheels, I like the proportions, I like the front end. It's basically just a larger Highlander, which is already a great looking vehicle. Moving to that rear hatch, where practicality is king, the Grand Highlander shines. With the third row up, you've got usable cargo space, something the regular Highlander struggles with. Fold down the third row and you've got a ton of room. Fold down both rows and you're looking at nearly 97.5 cubic feet of cargo space. This thing's obviously plenty of room for grocery runs, even with the family. You can carry a few suitcases. When you fold those seats down, you have plenty of room for basically whatever you want to get. Now let's pop that hood. The Hybrid Max powertrain combines a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine with electric motors for a total of 362 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission and a full-time electric all-wheel drive system. Toyota says it'll do 0 to 60 in about 6.3 seconds, which sounds really good, but for a family hauler, that's not your main concern. But that does make it the most powerful midsize SUV Toyota has ever built. Along with some off-road credibility, which we'll talk about later, this thing can also tow up to 5,000 pounds. And it does have selectable drive modes for Eco, Sport, and Normal, plus terrain modes for dirt, mud, and snow. With that, let's jump inside. Taking a look at the rear seats first, then we'll take a look at the driver's seat. Looking at the back seats, the fold down, there are a lot of motions that you can go through here. You have a handle up here, handle right here, and a handle right here. To fold it flat, you pull up on here first. It's labeled number 1, but it's going to slide forward. You don't want that. Then you pull this one, which says number 2, and that folds it flat. But if you're trying to get into the back, all you have to do is pull the one, pull this one up here, and that leans it forward and pushes it forward, so you have easy access to the back. Back seats are pretty spacious for a 3-row crossover. Probably not class leading, but because the second row seats can go forward or back and give the back seats a little bit more room, they're definitely manageable for kids, no problem. Adults might be a bit tight, hence I'm not getting back there right now. But let's jump in the second row, and you should be able to see I have plenty of headroom, plenty of knee room, plenty of foot room. Got armrests that pull down, got cup holders. We have our own AC and heat controls, heated and cold seats back here. USB charging ports for both sides, and those are USB-C, and then 120 volt, 150 watt accessory plug down here. We also do have these sunshades back here, which is great. And of course the panoramic moonroof, which we'll look at as we jump in front, which we should do. Inside, the Grand Highlander leans more towards comfort and practicality over flashy design. We do have some really great materials in this platinum trim. We have the nice brown seats with some suede, perforated, nice stitching, good looking materials all around. It's a black and brown theme. We've got sort of woven, almost carbon fiber, fake carbon fiber looking materials in here, but all really geared towards practicality and the family. Let me pick you up and give you a good look around. All right, in front and center is the 12.3 inch touchscreen display. Nice and wide, easy to see, high up for visibility. You do have wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all working smoothly with no issues at all. And Toyota system, I think, is a really good one. Below the screen are physical buttons for your AC and heat controls. You can see the buttons for your heated and cooled seats. Of course, this is a triple climate zone, so you've got driver, passenger, and rear seats all have their own climate controls. Below that, some vents, obviously, with your hazard lights. And then you've got USB-C connectivity. This is for charging. This is for connecting to the infotainment. You've got a button here to bring up your 360 camera system, which this does have. And of course, if you put it into reverse, you get the reverse camera with the full 360, and it does do the cool thing where you can see underneath the car as you back up. Down here, you do have a wireless phone charger, which works fine even for a kind of weird phone that I have. You've got a big cubby here, cup holders, your power button, your gear shifter, which is the small Prius-like gear shifter, same one you get in a lot of Lexus today though, with this copper gold trimming, which you do get around a lot of things in this interior, and it looks nice. Again, reverse, push over and up, put you in reverse, over and back, put you in drive, push in for park. You've got an auto hold button, electronic parking brake, traction control off button, terrain management controls, sport and eco, driving buttons, snow, hill descent. Armrest, depending on where you put your elbow, is decent. And you've got a really big cubby. Again, seats are really comfortable, really nice in this platinum. You can see the passenger gets their own USB-C charging port over here, and swinging all the way back around, we have our steering wheel. Again, that same copper trim, all the buttons you would expect on a steering wheel. We've got paddle shifters here as well, and a full digital driver information screen here. As you switch drive modes, the driver information screen will change up a bit. We also do have a head-up display, which is hard to see on camera, but love having them. It's very crisp, very big for your eye sitting at the driver's seat, and I quite like it. We do have the rear view mirror that is a camera, or you can have it as the mirror. I prefer having just the rear view camera. Again, a little bit hard to see here on the video. And we have the panoramic roof that I already talked about from the rear seats. Great if you're into that kind of thing. In Texas, it's usually too hot to have it open. And I think that's a good look around the vehicle. Let's go ahead and get this thing out on the road. All right, let's talk about how it drives. The Hybrid Max powertrain feels fantastic. Acceleration is strong, and the 6-speed automatic is smooth, no complaints at all. Steering is well balanced, not too light, not too stiff. Brakes feel solid too. Overall, this is a big SUV that feels planted and easy to drive. On the highway, radar guided cruise control, lane keeping assist work really well, making longer drives easy. There is a slight rub here though. The driver attention system is a bit too intrusive for my liking. I've used these systems plenty over the years. Toyotas have had them for a few years now. And while it's nagged me before, it's never really bothered me that much. But more and more I drive these vehicles and they're telling me to pay attention to the road, even though I am. It just gets annoying. I can see how it might help some distracted drivers pay more attention, but quite frankly, I would like to just turn it off sometimes. And that's honestly really my only gripe in this vehicle. Otherwise, the cabin is quiet and comfortable and a pleasant place to spend time. It's not Lexus level quiet or luxurious, but it's close enough that you won't be annoyed by road noise or wind noise or small discomforts. Fuel economy, the sticker says 27 miles per gallon combined, but I was averaging closer to 20 miles per gallon in my week. And even resetting it and doing a MPG run, I was averaging around 21 miles to the gallon. So you might be able to hit that 27, but you'll have to be a lot more cautious with your right foot than I am. I didn't really take the Grand Highlander off-road outside some dirt trails, but it does have terrain modes and all-wheel drive capability. It's not a 4Runner, but it'll handle snow and light trails without issue. Anyways, let's move on to the price, some competition, and we'll start wrapping this video up. All right, the Grand Highlander starts around $40,000, which is actually a really great deal for all the space that you get here. Obviously, you're not getting all the tech. That's not going to have the Hybrid Max engine. It's not going to have all-wheel drive, but it's a great starting point. To get into the Hybrid Max, you're looking a minimum of about $54,000. And for our Platinum Hybrid Max all-wheel drive, top of the line, you're looking about $62,000, which again is still pretty good compared to other things on the market these days, which we'll talk about now. So two of my favorite vehicles in this segment are the Kia Telluride and Hyundai Palisade. Obviously, they're like cousin vehicles, both 3-row, both have a lot of room, good designs that are very unique from each other. And Hyundai and Kia are just killing it with reliability and technology. If this is on your list, you should at least give one of those a test first. The Palisade is going to be more expensive, but the Telluride is definitely more in line with the price of this thing. You can also look at the Volkswagen Atlas, another great 3-row crossover with a bunch of room. I owned an Atlas for my family vehicle for a long time. Now we have a minivan, but that distinction we won't even cover in this video. I've got other videos out on that if you're really interested. The Atlas is a solid vehicle and I reviewed it recently, so definitely worth a check as well. Not quite as luxurious as this, which is saying something, as this isn't really that luxurious either. And of course, you also have things like the Honda Pilot and some other 3-row crossovers that are also getting really good. But I'm really happy with the time I've spent in this Grand Highlander. Let me jump out, give you some of my final thoughts, and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so here's the bottom line. The Grand Highlander is definitely a step above the Highlander when it comes to space, practicality for families. And of course, that's what it's meant to be. It's a great vehicle, comfortable, tech-focused, and again, very practical for families. Cargo space is great. Space for all 3 rows is great. That Hybrid Max engine makes it surprisingly quick, and the whole thing handles really well. My biggest complaint in it is the obtrusive driver attention system that you can't turn off, but it's not really a huge deal. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to consider if you're gonna live with it every day, which I would recommend it as a daily driver. If you're interested in this segment and you're interested in this vehicle, really worth giving it a test drive. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Grand Highlander for 2025. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We do a different review every week. Lots of great family vehicles, lots of other vehicles. Check out TXGarage.com, where I've got a lot of written reviews as well as event and news coverage from a lot of great authors, not just myself. Really worth checking out, TXGarage.com. With that, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching.